Day just journaling. Like one thing, I'm grateful I came here where I'm at. I actually love where I'm at now. At one point, I hated it because I couldn't go outside. I was afraid to be outside. I was afraid to be anywhere here. It was just chaotic a lot. I mean, stuff that was going on here for years didn't make sense. Why people let it go on? And one thing they won't do, I don't know why, but they won't get cameras where I live. Like they should get cameras, see what's going on. It's fine now. We have a new staff to do help with things and take care of things, but I really don't trust them either because I told them things that they're like, that's no big deal. It's like that's no big deal. There's something wrong with her if you don't think that's a big deal. Like, oh, if you don't hear anything from whoever, don't worry about it. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty serious. Somebody saying I'm doing this, and like I said, and they don't really listen to me, and that's so I don't really tell them things much because I know they don't listen to me, and they really don't care what I got to say. But what's funny, if people say things that I said, then they make a big deal about it, like, oh, he did this, but they're not mentioning everything they did to me, and I don't even really bother the people here. I stay away from them, and I don't even talk to them really much anymore either. Like the one guy down on my side, down to the entrance, I don't even really talk to him anymore. Because the thing of it is, I'm changing. I don't, and one thing I am learning: complaining doesn't help. It doesn't help with anything. It doesn't help mentally. It doesn't help physically, or anything. So I definitely get away with complaining, but sometimes I do argue with the universe. Like not arguing, but complaining basically. I know a lot of people don't believe in the universe. I do. I'm fine if they do or don't. And that's another thing I'm learning too. People aren't where I am, so I got to be not really watch what I say, but just don't talk about things that like audiobooks I listen to or like Carl Jung stuff, shadow works. A lot of people don't understand it. So basically, I'm just gonna like I'm learning just watch how I talk to people because it if it doesn't make sense to them, then doesn't it just doesn't exist or they don't want to hear it because doesn't they don't understand it and they don't want to. Some people don't want to because they just don't want their bubble to be popped, and I'm fine with that. And basically, I'm learning that too. So, and like I said, it took me the full 8 years being here. I think it's been like 8 years. I finally am fine with who I am and everything. And like I've learned to be grateful for the way these people treat me because I'm a whole new person. I love myself. I respect myself. I take better care of my stuff because I've learned what I learned here, and it was just from the misery that I went through and how chaotic it was here, and everything people used to say it to me, and like they say things loud enough for me to hear it, soft enough to die it all the time. They would just literally, and they'd be nasty all the time to me. And like my old journals, I look at them sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I want to show somebody these, but I'm like, that's not a good idea because I was really in a bad place at one time because of this place. I came from a housing that I was living in. I came here for help, and I never got the help. Like it's been 2 years, and I'm finally starting getting the help that I came here for. Like the one I got better. Basically, both of them I got better on my own because I fell in love with Buddhism, philosophy, and positive audiobooks. That's what I learned through all that. Is the only thing I have control over is my mindset and what I give the attention to. That's what I'm going to see more. Like I used to give something with uh, all a lot of attention to it, complain and I everything I saw it was getting worse and worse because that's all I was feeding my brain and my body, just all negative stuff, complaining about what was wrong with me. And I don't do that much anymore, so I'm actually getting better. I can see improvements in things. Like my memory's getting better. I focus on things easier because I'm not complaining all the time. I used to be really bad with it, always complaining and just and I don't do that anymore. I've been getting into meditation. I enjoyed the last few days. I didn't because sometimes I'm like, it ain't fair what I've gone through. These people are happy and all this stuff here and the way they treated me. But I'm fine with it because if they didn't do it, I wouldn't be where I am today. And like some people don't understand it. Hurt people. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm fine with it. And like one thing I've learned with shadow work is what I or anybody sees in somebody else, it's in them they see is something their shadow in them is what they're seeing in other people. And I've learned that. Like I've done shadow work. I am a lot better because of it. But like I talk to people about it, so I'm not doing it anymore because it just doesn't make sense to people when you talk about it because they're not there, and it's just that's by design. I say that a lot. It's by design. They design things for things to be the way they are. So basically, like I used to talk about willpower to people. I read a book. I have the book on Audible. It's like a 20-hour book, and it got to the point after I listened to the book like twice. I think that to me, willpower doesn't actually exist because it's a 20-hour book, so it gets really into detail about willpower and all this. So I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of variables with willpower that affect willpower and all that. So I don't depend on willpower. One thing I use a lot and more than anything is where I put my attention than anything. Like I smoke, and I've gotten better with it. I don't smoke as much because I don't give it all the attention I used to give it. Like I used to say, "Oh, I can't quit smoking. I'm highly addicted." I don't say it anymore. I just don't give it the attention. So, and I used to talk a lot like that around people, and it just doesn't make sense to them, so they don't like it. So I'm fine with that because that's not where they are. So, like I said, I'm learning just keep it high by just small talks. That's what a lot of people like, the small talk. And I'm not really there for small talk. Oh, I like small talk, but I don't because I like to get really just deep into conversations and stuff like that. So a lot of times I have a hard time with small talk, and not everybody I talk to, but like people here complain a lot. And I just not there. Like one guy today, he's complaining that he had to sit 2 hours in the traffic. I'm like, yeah, at least you got a car. You can do that. Some people can't do that. And I know he didn't like that much because he just looked at me and went in. But that's the problem. I don't see anything negative anymore. Like, because I have things that a lot of people don't have. Like, I got feet, I can walk, I got hot water, I have a roof over my head. If I need to, I can turn on the air conditioner. So there's things that I have that a lot of people don't have. So that's what changed with me. I don't see anything really like negative. Oh, well, I still have that thought sometimes, so still working with it, and I still argue with the universe if you believe in that. But it's not even really argue. I just complain that, just complain, and I'm not like I used to be, and that's what I'm grateful is that I don't really flip, scream, yell, holler anymore at myself and whoever I'm talking to in my apartment. 'Cause that's where it all is. I'll yell and scream in my apartment, and you got to be careful here too, because people sit outside and listen to you, stand by the doors and listen. Like one day I heard a guy cough a couple times out there. I'm like, yeah, he's out there listening. So that's one thing you got to deal with here too is people eavesdrop. But like I said, I usually just used to hate myself. Sometimes I would just literally belittle myself, and nobody really knows what I went through in my brain to get where I'm at. And sometimes that bothers me. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I'm like people complain to me about chewing my fingernails, and I understand it, but I'm like, I had no fingernails at one time, and I'm grateful. I have fingernails. They're a little long. Sometimes I chew on them, and sometimes it bothers me. It's like I had no fingernails. So, and that's why sometimes I like to show people my personal journals because, like, I've been places in my brain and all that, and like in my heart and soul and stuff like that, where I didn't like anything about myself. So, like, I used to hate myself. Nobody hated me more than I hated myself then, and I'm not there anymore. I'm grateful for everything I'm going through, and like I bought somebody a present. I got to give it to my brother to give to her because, like I said, Marcia and my brother are more important to me than they actually know. They don't even have a clue how important Charlie. Yeah, that's my brother's name. Charlie and Marcia mean to me is because I love them more than I don't think I've ever told them, but I love those two, and I love his family too because they helped me a lot. Like there's times that my brother's got me a ride. He couldn't take me out that day or whatever, and he got me a ride, so I'm grateful for that. And like I said, I know they don't know how grateful I am for them, and that's one thing here. People get really irritated, like my brother comes takes me out or whatever. Or sometimes one day my brother was on vacation and he got me a ride. That guy's and the one guy walks out. Your brother's not even here and he's getting you a ride. He's on vacation. So, and that really irritates people over here because it is what it is. So I'm grateful for it. Like I said, they're more important to me than they ever know. And they will never know how much. And I've told them a few times. I told them quite a few times, but I know they don't realize how much they mean to me. So, but that's fine. That's part of life. I mean, sometimes we can tell people what we feel, and sometimes I make my brother some songs and Marcia, but like I said, I know they don't realize how important and how much respect for I have for those two and my brother's family, because it's like you could never tell. Nobody knows how much you are. People are important to me, whoever. Nobody realizes how important they are to that person. So, but he is really important to me, and I've come a long way with my brother's help, Marcia and his family. Because like one thing I do is like I respect them because got they help me. They do what they got. They got their life. They help me. And like when I've been in places, my brother still got me what I needed when I was in these places. So, like I said, I've made them songs sometimes, but I'm like sometimes I don't think those guys realize how much respect and I care about them. Like I said, I don't think they ever know. I don't think I ever have, but I'm not sure. But like I love those Marsha, my brother, and his family, and I respect them like beyond respect. And like I said, sometimes I don't. I know they don't know how much they mean to me. So like I said, and I look up to them because I see what they're going through, and that keeps me going because it's like, wow, they got this, and they keep going. So I'm like, and that's how what keeps me going. Sometimes is having a respect for them and seeing what they're going through is wow, they go through that, so I can keep going. So, like I said, and that's the thing sometimes that bothers me. Nobody really realize how, or doesn't even have a clue how bad I was in my symptoms when I came here. And like I said, these people learned it and they took advantage of it. I was worse here than I was in the other place I was in. And what upset me or is that they told me and the staff I had, oh, you'll get help for this and this and this. And I never really got the help. Like 2 years ago, we had new staff and I started getting the help. But like I said, you got to watch what you tell them too, because they don't listen to me. Like I've told them things are like the new staff and they just don't really care. But like I said, if other people say I did something or something, then that's a big deal. And I don't really talk to people anymore here. I don't really bother people here anymore, and I don't really talk to staff much anymore. I have to because like my staff I see Monday, but I have to, so I'm fine with that. But I just keep it very sensible, and I don't really talk about much. So so I'm fine with that. But like I said, I really can't because I've told them things and they just don't care. So all right, but like I said, I'm grateful I've gone through this because I wouldn't be the person I am today. Like I love myself. I take better care of my apartment. I clean things. I keep it clean. Like later, I got to take out the garbage tomorrow when I get up. But that's like I said, I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for me coming here because I used to hate myself, literally. If I could have ripped off my own skin off to get out of it, I would have. But now I'm like relaxed. When I go outside, I'm fine. Like I be careful with people out there because they're up. There's like I don't want to get in details because that's for my personal journal. But yeah, you got to. I got to be careful, but I got to be go out and smoke. That doesn't bother me when those people are around them. Just I'll go over here, they can stay over there. So I just keep me out self out of trouble. But like I said, I don't really bother these people here. I don't know why they hate me or try to get me in trouble. But like they took my kindness for weakness. I gave them all kinds of stuff and all kinds of packages or stuff. I would buy things just to give these people. I don't do that anymore. And like one guy, I gave him like probably close to a lot of money in cigarettes every month. I don't do that anymore. So I'm done with it. I'm done allowing people to walk all over me, and that's what I learned. I love myself, and that's where it changed. I started loving myself, and I care about myself. And like I said, doing this shadow work and um, meditate. I don't meditate as much as I used to, but meditating and all that, and like the Buddhist philosophy and Stoic philosophy and all the positive audiobooks I have and listened to. Like the one I like the most is The Courage to Be Disliked. I like that one, and a couple other ones I have, like The Man Searching for a Meaning, and the one I have all three of his books is Mind. Uh, I forget the name. I forget what was the book, but it's actually talks about the brain and stuff and how to be happy and all that. It's really good. It's I can't remember the book, but I follow him on YouTube and TikTok, but I haven't watched his videos in a while, so that's probably why I forgot what his channel name is, or his name is on YouTube, TikTok, and the books. But that's it. I hope people get something out of this. If it helps, I'm happy. So have a good day. Thanks. Bye.